In the spotlight tonight is Steevan Glover from Datchet, a managing director, and his specialist subject is the films of Stanley Kubrick. Graham Sleep from Liscard, a farmer whose subject is Anglo-Scottish warfare from 1296 to 1560. Derek Blackburn from The Wirral, a healthcare trainer, and his subject is David Bowie. And Charlotte Ireland from Wolverhampton, an English teacher whose subject is the Bodyline Ashes Tour of Australia. Hello, I'm John Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind, the most demanding quiz show on television. The only thing that's easy on this show are the rules. 2 rounds of questions, each 2 minutes long. The first on specialist subjects, the second on general knowledge. Just one contender goes through to the next round with a chance of winning this trophy and the honour of the title of Mastermind Champion. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Steevan Glover.
And your occupation?
Managing Director.
And your chosen subject?
The films of Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick's films in 2 minutes, starting now. Which of Kubrick's films gained an Oscar for Best Adapted Score?
Barry Lyndon.
Correct. In which film did Kubrick set one scene to a recording of the third movement of Bartók's Music for Strings, Percussion and Celesta?
Spartacus.
The Shining. Who began to work with Kubrick as an additional photographer on 2001: A Space Odyssey and went on to play an important role as a photographer in A Clockwork Orange, The Shining and Barry Lyndon?
Arthur Felig.
John Alcott. Which actress played the role of Vivian Darkbloom, Claire Quilty's biographer and collaborator in Lolita?
Pass.
What is the name of the cafe where Tom Cruise's character hears of the masked ball in Eyes Wide Shut?
It's an art cafe.
Yes. Which actor was asked to gain over 60 pounds in order to play a leading part in Full Metal Jacket?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Correct. In Dr. Strangelove, which 18th century writer's name is alluded to in the surname of the Russian ambassador?
Sadsky Sard.
Marquis de Sade, yes. In which state is Timberline Lodge, the venue that provided the exterior shots of the hotel in The Shining?
Oregon.
Yes. Which actor was approached by Kubrick to play the role of Napoleon in a film project that was never realised?
Jack Nicholson.
Correct. In A Clockwork Orange, what's the name of the technique employed to turn Alex against violence by a form of aversion therapy?
Ludovico technique.
Yes. What is the name of Kubrick's fellow chess player who was hired for the role of the wrestler and the decoy Morris in The Killing?
Carlo Coriani.
Correct. Which of Kubrick's films was banned in France, Switzerland and on American military bases at various times in the 60s and 70s?
Paths of Glory. Correct.
Which virtuoso of the Moog synthesizer provided the electronic music and sound effects in A Clockwork Orange and later worked on The Shining?
Thieving Magpie.
Walter Carlos. In Dr. Strangelove, the message on one bomb in the Bay of B-52 Alabama Angel is Dear John. What greeting is on the other?
Hi there.
Correct. Which Vietnam War correspondent worked with Kubrick and Gustav Hasford on the script for Full Metal Jacket?
Brian Herr.
Michael Herr. Who said of Kubrick that in the film Lolita he was so besotted with the genius of Peter Sellers that he never seemed to have enough of him?
Pass.
In Spartacus, in which press baron's mansion did Kubrick shoot the scene set in Crassus's villa?
William Randolph Hearst.
Correct. Which British character actor provided, I've started so I shall finish, provided the narration for Barry Lyndon?
Dennis Horden.
Michael Horden. You had 2 passes. James Mason said he was so besotted with Sellers, etc., etc., and the actress who played Vivian Darkbloom was Marianne Stone. 2 passes, but Steevan Glover, you have 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Graham Sleep.
Your occupation?
Farmer.
And your chosen subject?
Anglo-Scottish warfare, 1296 to 1560.
All of that in 2 minutes, starting now. At the end of March 1296, which town was sacked and its people slaughtered by the hammer of the Scots, King Edward I of England?
Berwick.
Yes. What name is given to the document signed in 1296 at Berwick by 2,000 Scottish nobles and landholders, recognising Edward I as king?
Pass.
In the spring of 1297, who killed the English sheriff of Lanark, sparking a movement of national resistance across Scotland? Yes. What nickname was given to the largest of the siege engines used by Edward I at the siege of Stirling Castle in 1304?
Warwolf.
Yes. Who surrendered Stirling Castle in July 1304, effectively completing the English conquest of Scotland?
Oliphant.
Correct. What name is given to the defensive formation used by the Scots in battle, which consisted of tightly packed infantry, massed in circles and holding massive pikes?
Skiltrons.
Yes. In which village near Carlisle did Edward I die in July 1307 on his final march to Scotland?
Burby Sands.
Correct. Which English knight was killed in single combat with Robert the Bruce before the main battle began at Bannockburn in June 1314?
Henry Bowen.
Correct. In July 1328, to which sister of Edward III was David, son of Robert the Bruce, diplomatically married at the age of 4?
Pass.
At which battle in 1346 was King David II of Scotland defeated and taken prisoner, spending the next 11 years at the court of Edward III?
Neville's Cross.
Correct. Which castle in Yorkist hands was James II of Scotland laying siege to in August 1460 when one of his guns exploded and killed him?
Roxburgh.
Yes. On which date in 1513 was the Battle of Flodden fought, in which James IV of Scotland was killed and the Scottish army annihilated?
9th September.
Correct. By which treaty, signed in 1543, later repudiated, was Mary, Queen of Scots, promised in marriage to Prince Edward, son of Henry VIII?
Pass.
Who was the English governor of Stirling Castle who refused entry to Edward II after he was defeated at Bannockburn?
Mowbray.
Yes. At which battle a decisive victory for the English was Archibald Douglas, the guardian of David II, killed?
Pass.
Who led the attack against Black Agnes, Countess of March, at Dunbar Castle in 1338, but was forced to abandon his campaign after a long siege?
Dunbar.
No, William Montacute. You had 4 passes. It was the Battle of Halidon Hill, that decisive victory. The treaty signed in 1543, later repudiated, was the Treaty of Greenwich. Joan, or Joanna of England, was the sister in question, and the name given to that document was the Ragman Rolls. Yes. 4 passes, Graham Sleep. You too have 11 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Derek Blackburn.
And your occupation?
A healthcare trainer.
And your chosen subject?
The life and music of David Bowie.
David Bowie, in 2 minutes, starting now. Which group did Bowie form with his school friend George Underwood, their only single being Liza Jane in June 1964?
Conrads.
The King Bees. Who taught the young Bowie to play the saxophone and later worked with him on Lou Reed's Transformer album?
Pass.
Released in 1973, which album gave Bowie his first #1 in the UK album charts?
Ziggy Stardust.
Aladdin Sane. Written very soon after the birth of his son Zoe, which song contains the line, "A funny old crib on which the paint won't dry"?
Cooks.
Yes. With which orchestra, conducted by Eugene Ormandy, did Bowie narrate Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf on a recording released in 1978?
Pass.
Who replaced Ken Pitt as Bowie's manager in 1970?
Tony Visconti.
Tony DeFries. The Diamond Dogs album was originally planned as a musical version of which novel?
1984.
Correct. At which London venue did Bowie and the Hype make their concert debut in February 1970 when Bowie appeared dressed in Lurex tights and a billowing cape?
Marquis.
The Roundhouse. What was the name of the song that David Bowie wrote to John Lennon and Carlos Alomar, which was a 1975 top 20 hit in the UK charts?
Pass.
In which stage role did Bowie first appear in Denver, Colorado in July 1980?
The Elephant Man.
Yes. Which of Bowie's singles was the first to top both the UK and American charts?
Jean Genie.
Let's Dance. Owen Frampton, the father of Bowie's schoolmate Peter Frampton, taught Bowie which subject at Bromley Technical High School?
Art.
Yes. In which 1996 film directed by Julian Schnabel did Bowie play the role of Andy Warhol?
Basquiat.
Yes. What was the name of the 1985 top 20 hit single which made a brief reappearance in the UK charts in 2002 after it had been remixed by New York producer The Scumfrog?
Pass.
On which label was Bowie's single Rubber Band released in December 1966?
Deram.
Yes. Which track from his Earthling album did Bowie make available specifically for internet download in September 1996?
Pass.
Who did Bowie play in Martin Scorsese's 1988 film The Last Temptation of Christ?
Pontius Pilate.
Yes. What was the name of the George Harrison composition that Bowie did a cover version of on his 2003 reality album?
Pass.
Well, I'll tell you, try some, buy some. And your other pass is Telling Lies was the track that Bowie made available for internet downloads. Loving the Alien was the name of that 1985 top 20 hit. Fame was the name of the song he wrote with Lennon and Carlos Alomar. The Philadelphia Orchestra was Peter and the Wolf. And it was Ronnie Ross who taught the young Bowie to play the saxophone. So, Derek Blackburn, 6 passes, 7 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Charlotte Ireland.
Your occupation?
Teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The Bodyline Ashes Tour of Australia.
The Bodyline Ashes Tour. In 2 minutes. Which England bowler's only test wicket during the series was the dismissal of Donald Bradman for a duck?
Pass.
In which London hotel did Jardine, Carr, Larwood and Vose have the notorious dinner at which they decided to counter Bradman with fast bowling aimed at his body rather than the stumps, later to become known as Bodyline?
Piccadilly Hotel.
Correct. What was the name of the ship on which the MCC touring party sailed from Tilbury to Australia?
Orontes.
Correct. Who captained the MCC against an Australian 11 in Melbourne, in which Bodyline was used for the first time on the tour?
Bob Wyatt.
Yes. Which former England player remarked when he heard of Jardine's appointment as captain that England would win the Ashes but may lose a Dominion?
Rockley Wilson.
Yes. What was the name of the sports editor of a Sydney newspaper who was also a former state cricketer with whom Bradman discussed his tactics for countering Bodyline before the second test?
Pass.
Larwood's innings in the 5th test set a record score by a night watchman. How many runs did he make?
98.
He did. Who was the Australian 12th man who claimed to have witnessed the dressing room confrontation between Bill Woodfull and Plum Warner when the Australian captain declared that only one team was trying to play cricket?
Bromley.
Leo O'Brien. Which specific word caused most offence to the MCC when they received the cable sent by the Australian Board of Control at the end of the Adelaide Test?
Unsportsmanlike.
Yes. On how many occasions was Bradman dismissed by Larwood during the Test series?
6.
4. In the first Test in Sydney, which batsman shared a 5th wicket stand of 129 with Stan McCabe, which temporarily held off the English pace attack?
Ponsford.
Richardson. Hugh Buggy and Ray Robinson are often credited with popularising the term bodyline in which newspaper?
Sydney Sun.
The Melbourne Herald. During the 4th Test, which Australian batsman was out for the first and only duck of his career?
Bill Ponsford.
Yes. What was the name of the ground at which Ron Halcombe opened the MCC tour by bowling to Herbert Sutcliffe?
Perth.
The Wacker. How many centuries were scored against the tourists in the 17 first-class matches on the tour?
3.
5. Which England bowler refused to implement fast leg theory, although he privately described Bradman as a terrible little coward of fast bowling?
Gubby Allen.
Gubby Allen it was. You had 2 passes. Johnny Moyes was the name of that sports editor, and Bill Bowes was the England bowler whose only test wicket during the series was Donald Bradman. 2 passes, Charlotte Ireland, 8 points. So that's the end of the specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 7 points is Derek Blackburn. 3rd place with 8 points, Charlotte Ireland. Joint 1st place with 11 points are Steevan Glover and Graham Sleep. So the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account, and the contender with the fewest passes will be the winner. If there's still a tie on points, then there is a 5-question playoff, sudden death. So let's get on with the general knowledge round and ask Derek Blackburn to join us again, if he would, please. And I know that you're a healthcare trainer now, but you were in the Army for a long time, in the RAMC, the Royal Army Medical Corps, is that right?
That's correct, John, yes.
And spent a lot of time in very cold places.
6 months in South Georgia, 1,000 miles from the South Pole itself.
A stupid question, how did he keep warm?
It's cold but dry. It's cold and wet that's been the problem. So the kit's warm enough, keeps you dry too.
And what's this about using a candle to keep yourselves warm?
That's to make sure you've still got enough oxygen when you're living in the snow hole.
Huh? Explain that to me.
OK. If you're living out in the hills, you either live in a little snow hole, 2 of you, or you dig down far enough, 4 of you sleep in it, and you light a candle. If the candle goes out, there's no oxygen, so you've got to get out pretty quick.
It must be pretty miserable spending days on end in a snow hole, or nights on end for that matter.
It's magical, yeah.
Really?
It's very serene, very serene.
You must have liked the other 3 fellas.
I preferred the penguins and the elephant seals.
Right, let's see how you get on with your general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. In the Bible, who was sold by his half-brothers for 20 pieces of silver to captors who took him to Egypt?
Joseph.
Yes. Which German city was controversially bombed in mid-February 1945 by an Anglo-American force of more than 1,000 aircraft?
Dresden.
Yes. How often does a hebdomadal council normally meet?
7 years.
7 days. Harriet Westbrook, the daughter of a London coffee house owner, was the first wife of which poet with whom she eloped to Scotland in 1811?
Pass.
Who succeeded Jeff Hoon as the Secretary of State for Defence after the 2005 general election?
Nicholas Soames.
John Reed. The name of which Los Angeles park has provided UK hit singles for Richard Harris and Donna Summer?
MacArthur.
Yes, which virtue shares its name with that commonly given to the plant Lunaria, which produces flat seed pods resembling pearly discs?
Pass.
According to tradition, which founder of the city of Thebes in Boeotia brought the Phoenician alphabet to Greece?
Pass.
In 1966, who became the first footballer to be voted the BBC Sports Personality of the Year?
Jeff Hurst.
Bobby Moore. The last major works of which architect of the Gothic and Roman Catholic revivals include St Augustine's Church and his own house, the Grange, both in Ramsgate?
Pass.
What word can mean a square dance for 4 or more couples or a 4-handed card game played with 40 cards?
Bridge.
Quadrille. Who was reputed to have been paid $4 million for his 10-minute appearance as the hero's father in the 1978 film Superman?
Marlon Brando.
Correct. Which Act of Parliament that provides wider public access to official data was passed in 2000 and came fully into force on the 1st of January 2005?
Data protection.
Freedom of Information Act. Which Indian city, whose economy is based primarily upon tea, was developed as a sanatorium and hill station for British troops during the period of the Raj?
Delhi.
Darjeeling. What official position was held by Paul Nash during both World Wars?
Pass.
Meaning zeal in Arabic, what is the name of the Islamic resistance movement founded by Sheikh Ahmed Yassin in Gaza?
Hamas.
Yes, Hamas it is. And you had 5 passes. Paul Nash was the official war artist. Pugin was the architect that we were looking for. Cadmus was the founder of the city of Thebes. Honesty is the virtue that I was looking for, and Percy Bysshe Shelley was the poet. So those 5 passes, Derek Blackburn, a total of 12 points. And now Charlotte, Ireland, please. Now, there has to be a reason why you are as interested as you are in the Bodyline Ashes Tour. Cricket in general, indeed.
My father played and we went along and watched, and you either learnt or got bored. Right. And in the 1980s, there was a mini-series on television about Bodyline, which captured the imagination quite brilliantly.
But the big question, surely, is whether it was unsportsmanlike, the word that really got them going, with this bodyline bowling.
It's quite unusual because on the domestic scene in England, players have been used to it for years, certainly since the early years of the 90s.
What, having the ball thrown at you rather than at your
well,
wicket?
It wasn't necessarily thrown at you, it was aimed at the leg stump. If you happened to get in the way, perhaps your batting wasn't good enough.
Right, which is a controversial view to take.
Absolutely, yes.
Right, you have 8 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which German word is used for short leather trousers with braces?
Lederhosen.
Yes, what was the name of the first United States Treasury Secretary who was killed in a duel with Aaron Burr?
Pass.
Which halogen element has the lowest atomic number and is represented by the letter F?
Pass.
Which French artist painted Les Parapluies in a reaction against his earlier Impressionist style?
Monet.
Renoir. What name is given to the mass of lymphatic tissue between the back of the nose and the throat which can inhibit breathing and speaking, particularly in children?
Adenoids.
Yes, in 1978, which lyricist published the autobiography The Street Where I Live, a title that was inspired by a song from My Fair Lady?
Frederick Lerner.
No, Alan J. Lerner. Devotees of which religion leave their dead to be devoured by vultures on special constructions called dachmas, or towers of silence?
Hindu.
Parsees. In which mountain range is Australia's highest point, Mount Kosciuszko?
Blue Mountain.
Snowy Mountains. Which female philosopher chaired the Committee of Inquiry into Embryology and Human Fertilisation, whose report was finally published in 1985?
Germaine Greer.
Mary Warnock. In Britain, what name is given to lamb chops cut from between the loin and the leg?
Cutlets.
Chump chops. In the 2005 general election, which former television presenter was beaten into 4th place in the constituency of Erewash?
Pass.
By what name is the Middle Eastern dance that is known in Arabic as the Raqs Shaki, usually known in English?
Pass.
In which sport did the Hungarian-born Viktor Bana win the World Individual Championship 5 times out of 6 from 1930 to 1935?
Skiing.
Table tennis. Which movement did Dame Cicely Saunders found in 1967, 7 years after the publication of her book Care of the Dying?
Hospice.
Yes. In the television comedy series Open All Hours, what relation was Arkwright, played by Ronnie Barker, to David Jason's character Granville?
Uncle.
Yes. Prior to the breakup of the Soviet Union, Gyumri in Armenia, Kuyand in Tajikistan and St. Petersburg in Russia were all named after whom?
Lenin.
Lenin is correct. You had 4 passes. The belly dance is the Rakshaki. Robert Kilroy Silk was the former television presenter who went down. The halogen element with the lowest atomic number is fluorine, and it was Alexander Hamilton who was killed in a duel with Aaron Burr. 4 passes, Charlotte Ireland, 13 points. And now Steevan Glover, please. And to all those people who looked at the caption of your name and say, that's no way to spell Steevan.
Yes.
Well, actually, it is correct, isn't it?
It is, yes. You can blame my father for that one.
Why?
Well, his version of events, which my mother kindly concurs with, is that he wanted a phonetic spelling, so S-T-E-E-V-A-N. It couldn't be mispronounced. He didn't like the E-V-E-N or the PH version. But I don't think he was sober when he signed the forms.
No. The films of Stanley Kubrick didn't make very many of them and was incredibly painstaking, the detail, and a control freak, I suppose.
Yes, he was. I mean, control freak is the easy words that are bandied out. I mean, perfectionist, certainly. Trying, exacting. Yeah, all of those things. I mean, he's been described as an auteur, a genius. He only made 13 films, but I don't think he made a bad one.
Well, you scored with him 11 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which French expression for goodbye literally means to God?
Adieu?
Yes, in music, what word is generally used for a counter melody, either composed or improvised, above a familiar melody?
Pass.
Which member of the penguin family is believed to be the world's deepest diving bird?
Emperor?
Yes. What title is held by the judge who's the head of the civil division of the Court of Appeal?
Pass.
In Greek mythology, who was married first to Tantalus and then to Agamemnon?
Helen?
Clytemnestra. Oscar Wilde was imprisoned first in Pentonville and then in Wandsworth before being sent to another jail where he spent most of his 2-year sentence. What jail?
Reading.
Yes. Which country became the first in Europe to adopt VAT after World War II?
France.
Correct. The stained glass for the chapel of which stately home in North Yorkshire was provided by Edward Burne-Jones, who was commissioned at the suggestion of the future 9th Earl of Carlisle?
Castle Howard?
Correct. In the human body, which artery carries blood from the heart to the lungs?
The aorta.
Pulmonary. Which veteran actor won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role as an old cowpoke in the 1991 film City Slickers?
Jack Palance.
Yes. What was the name of the Prophet Muhammad's third and favourite wife in whose arms he is said to have died?
Bathsheba.
Aisha. Which term for a sheet of rubber or other material used to seal a junction between 2 surfaces in an engine is thought to derive from the French for thin rope?
Pass.
The works of which Danish composer who lived from 1865 to 1931 include 2 operas and 6 symphonies, the second of which is called The Four Temperaments?
Debussy.
Nielsen. The term à la crécie on a menu indicates that a dish contains or is garnished with which vegetable?
Carrot.
Yes. Which breed of Siberian dog was used by Captain Scott and Amundsen to pull their sledges?
Husky.
Samoyed. Which novelist who died in April 1991 is credited with the screenplay for The Third Man?
Terence Mann.
Graham Greene. The Kerr-Newman, the Reissner-Nordstrom and the Schwarzwald solutions are mathematical expressions for describing which stellar objects?
Comets.
Black holes, but it was worth a guess. 3 passes. Gasket is that sheet of rubber, as you now know. Master of the Rolls is the head of the Civil Division of the Court of Appeal, and descant is the counter melody.
Of course.
Of course. It's always easy after the event, isn't
Absolutely.
it? 3 passes. Steevan Glover, you have 18 points.
Thank you.
And finally, Graham, sleep, please. And you are a farmer, a beef farmer, and therefore I have to assume you're not a rich man.
No, not lately, no. No.
We always used to say that farmers had loads of money, they just complained a lot. That's not true any longer, is it?
Particularly since 1996, when the BSE started. And from then on, I think it's been a downward sort of drive.
So how difficult is it now? You've got what? You only got about 20...
Yeah,
people.
20 to 30.
Well, you couldn't make a living out of that, could you?
Oh, definitely not, no. I've got to do a full-time job as well, like, you know.
And how many small farmers are in this same predicament as you, do you think?
Well, all of them, I think, all of them.
Will you give up farming?
Well, I gradually run it down. I think I'll always have a cow or two. I mean, once you're in it, it's in your blood. It's very hard. People say give it up, and that was very hard to give it up. Very difficult. It's a special sort of breed, farmers.
Well, you have 11 points. The score you have to beat is 18, with your general knowledge. So, let's see if you can do it. A silverback is the mature male of which ape?
Gorilla.
Correct. Which Greek word meaning leaf is used for a kind of pastry consisting of many paper-thin layers separated by films of butter?
Shoe.
Philo. The name of which month is derived from that of the Roman festival of purification that was held on the 15th of that month?
March.
February. The line "a boy's best friend is his mother" is heard in which 1960s horror film?
Pass.
What name is given to the peaceful political change that saw the ending of communist rule in Czechoslovakia in late 1989?
Dubček affair.
The Velvet Revolution. In which prison did John Bunyan spend nearly 12 years after being arrested for preaching without a licence to unlawful assemblies in November 1660?
Bedford.
Yes. Which Moroccan city was once said to be the only place in the world where the brimless red felt hats that bear its name were made?
Fez.
Yes. Which physical training system is now named after its German inventor, although he called it contrology?
Pass.
What name is given to the dolerite rock believed to be from the Preseli Mountains in Wales, which forms the pillars found in the inner parts of Stonehenge?
Sarsen.
Bluestone. In Kipling's The Elephant's Child, which river did he refer to as Great Grey Green Greasy?
Ganges.
The Limpopo. Which Oxford college is also known as the House?
University College.
Christchurch. The dying words of which Roman emperor are said to have been "Qualis artifex pereo," often translated as "What an artist dies with me."
Caligula.
Nero. In which rowing event did Steve Redgrave win his record-breaking 5th Olympic gold medal at the Sydney Games?
1,500 metres.
The Coxless Four. Which early Florentine artist is supposed to have drawn a perfect circle when the Pope asked to see a sample of his work?
Michelangelo.
Giotto. Which Whig Prime Minister presided over the passing of the 1832 Reform Act?
Lord Russell.
Charles Earl Grey. What common name is used for silicon carbide, an extremely hard compound that's widely used as an abrasive?
Pass.
Which opera house opened on 3rd of August 1778 with a performance of Antonio Salieri's Europa Riconosciuta?
Glyndebourne.
La Scala. 3 passes. Graham Sleep. Carborundum is the common name for silicon carbide. Pilates is what we now call contrology. And a boy's best friend is his mother came from Psycho. Graham Sleep, 3 passes, 14 points.
Thank you.
So that's it. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 12 points, Derek Blackburn. In 3rd place with 13 points, Charlotte Ireland. In 2nd place with 14 points, Graham Sleep. In 1st place with 18 points, Steevan Glover. Which means, of course, that Steevan Glover goes through to the 2nd round. Congratulations to him. Do join us next week for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
A culture swap tonight on BBC Two. Justin Rolat leaves Britain behind and lives life as a German. That's at 9. Next this afternoon, poppies, ponds and pumpkins. It's the letter P on the A to Z of gardening.